Last winter left hairline cracks in the brick path we spent 3 weekends laying. By June, dandelions had found every single one, and my neighbor Earl swore a salt paste from his kitchen cabinet would finish them for good. Standard liquid salt mixtures or vinegar sprays simply slide off the leaves. They drip down into the soil, wasting your time and risking the health of nearby plants. This home-mixed paste behaves differently because it clings tight to the green foliage. It blocks the sun and locks the treatment right where you put it. We tested it ourselves on the worst weeds we could find. The secret is a cheap pantry binder that stops rainwater from washing the mineral shield away. We'll look at that simple white powder in just a moment. Now listen, my granddaddy used to say that the best tools are the ones you make yourself with whatever is already sitting on the shelf. Last spring, we ran our own test on a massive oak stump behind the woodshed in our Georgia yard, right by the old wire fence. We planted that oak tree back in 1998, but a lightning strike finally took it down, leaving us with a stubborn block of wood that refused to rot. I remember kneeling in the damp Georgia dirt, my palm stinging from the rough wooden bucket handle, staring at the bright sky blue hydrangea petals just 24 inches away. If the salt leaked, those soft blue petals would shrivel into crisp, paper-dry brown flakes by Friday morning. I felt a real knot in my stomach as I mixed the first batch. We really needed this to work without ruining my grandmother's favorite flower bed, so we watched that stump every single morning, checking the grass blades for any sign of yellowing. Weeds cause physical damage to your home. When crabgrass pushes through brick driveway joints, the roots act like wedges, lifting heavy concrete pavers and breaking the mortar beneath. The trouble gets worse when you cut down an unwanted tree. That stump looks dead, but the roots soon send up fresh green suckers. The soft wood quickly invites damp rot, attracting carpenter ants that can migrate to your wooden porch, chewing through structural beams. Hand-pulling is back-breaking labor because you end up snapping the stem, leaving the deep taproot healthy and ready to sprout again. Most people solve this by buying a blue bottle of brush killer concentrate at the hardware store for $29. If you read the label, it contains triclopyr. This chemical carries a strict advisory because it moves easily through permeable soils, risking shallow drinking water wells beneath your neighborhood. It can also drift on a light breeze, curling the leaves of your tomato plants. Spending hard-earned money on a bottle with a groundwater warning does not make sense when you can mix a safer alternative on your kitchen counter. To mix this paste at home, you only need 4 basic kitchen items. The first is white distilled vinegar with 5% acidity. Acetic acid strips away the waxy protective layer of leaf membranes. The second is table salt, also known as sodium chloride. This is the oldest vegetation control method known, used since the 1740s to keep walkways clear. When salt sits on a plant, it destroys the cells through osmosis. Water moves from low salt areas to high salt areas. Leaf cells are full of fresh water, while the salt paste is dry and hungry. This extreme difference forces the water out, causing the cells to collapse from thirst. To make this mix stick, add 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap. Soap acts as a surfactant, reducing surface tension so the mixture spreads flat across the leaf instead of forming beads. Cheap wheat flour acts as our secret binder. Whisking it in transforms the liquid into a thick, sticky batter. This starch-thickened paste locks the sodium and the acetic acid directly onto the leaves or the wood of a cut stump, keeping them in contact with the tissue even during rain. Grab a clean bucket. Wood or glass is best. Avoid metal because the strong acid will eat right through it over time. Pour in 3 cups of the white vinegar, 1 cup of table salt, and 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap. Now, you stir. Use a wooden spoon and keep it moving for at least 2 full minutes, because those tiny, stubborn salt crystals must dissolve completely in the acid before you do anything else. If you rush, they just sink to the bottom like sand. Once the liquid looks clear again, slowly shake in 1 cup of all-purpose wheat flour, whisking constantly to break up any lumps, until the mixture transforms into a heavy, creamy batter. If you treat weeds in walkway cracks, grab an old paintbrush. Dip it into the paste and paint a heavy layer directly onto the leaves. This is incredibly precise. You target the weeds without letting salt touch the surrounding soil. You can treat weeds right next to your lawn without causing yellow spots in the good grass. Get your power drill and chuck in a 1-inch spade bit. Bore holes straight down into the flat top of the wood, aiming for 10 inches deep and keeping them 3 inches apart. Drill more holes at a sharp downward angle around the outer sides of the bark. Pack the paste. Stuff it deep into those dark holes with a stick until the wood is completely filled with the white mixture. It slowly pulls every drop of moisture out of the wood fibers, ensuring no green shoots can ever push through the bark again. Now, you must have honest expectations. On young weeds growing in driveway cracks, the leaves shrivel within 24 to 48 hours. By day 5, they crumble into dust when you step on them. For a thick tree stump, the wood takes 6 to 12 months to completely decompose. This salt paste starves the tissues, allowing natural wood-rotting fungi to soften the stump until it's soft as sponge cake. Keep this paste strictly on hard surfaces, far away from your active garden beds. In our Georgia yard, we covered the salted stump with a heavy black plastic tarp. This simple step kept the rain from washing the salt into the soil. The grass around the base stayed bright green, and those blue hydrangeas never dropped a single leaf. The oak wood turned dark, brittle, and completely rotted away by winter. Earl was right. We never like to waste a good thing, and this same sticky paste has another brilliant use in the garden shed. If you've got tarnished brass hose nozzles or copper hand trowels covered in green grime, this recipe is a fantastic natural cleaner. That brass nozzle from 1954 was coated in a thick, crusty layer of green oxidation that left a chalky residue on my fingers. The acidic scent of the warm vinegar paste, mixed with the sharp smell of old metal, made my eyes water as I smeared it on. I coated the metal completely and walked away for 30 minutes, watching the white paste slowly turn a pale green as it reacted with the copper. When I wiped it off with a wet rag, the metal gleamed with a bright, warm shine. Table salt contains 39% sodium and 61% chloride by weight, making it the most concentrated natural dehydrator you can mix in a kitchen bucket.